This movie tells a story about a young American woman who is sent to Rome to begin a life of service to the church. However, she encounters a darkness that causes her to question her faith and uncovers a terrifying conspiracy that hopes to bring about the birth of evil incarnate. First of all, this movie is a pretty straight-ahead prequel to the 1976 movie The Omen. The events of the previous 4 films cannot be altered, so most of this movie is just about getting us where we know the plot has to go. It's exploring the backstory behind the birth of the Antichrist Damien. The movie is detailing exactly how the demonic infant Damien came to enter the lives of the ill-fated US Ambassador Robert Thorne and his wife. The movie has high hopes to rejuvenate the brand name with a prequel, going back to the early 1970s for an origin story involving the creation of ultimate evil. However, the movie shies away from delivering anything truly innovative as it doesn't bring anything new to the saga. It tries to cover old stuff while trying to create a backstory capable of inspiring fresh sequels. The movie is quite frustrating as the story is uninteresting. It suffers from a really tedious story. The pacing is problematic and the setup really drags. The film provides the answer to a question most people probably were not asking. There's a handful of revelations that don't add up too much. The main plot is quite questionable as it involves creating an antichrist for reasons that never entirely made clear. The non-pregnancy itself is a tired entry the movie doesn't seem to have been allowed to get very far, and that undermines most of what the movie has to say about the topic. The movie needs 120 minutes to tell the story, but doesn't earn it. The movie seems more like a fever dream, its outlandish storyline taking a backseat to a nightmarish vision that's more about mood than narrative coherence. It's really sluggish, especially in the first half, with the script spinning its wheels while laboring to generate intrigue for the obvious. It has a much greater investment in its gore than in its characters and story, with a few superficial overtures and ham-fisted twists. It has little to offer beyond a few extreme mayhem and twists, and even that's mostly backloaded into the third act. With a number of obvious and predictable jump scares, most of the scares here are woefully contrived and nothing horror fans won't have seen before. The movie throws in plenty of shout-outs, including one character offing herself in a style that recalls the chilling demise of Damien's first nanny. However, those obligatory moments from the original classic are played out with only casual attempts to amp up the tension or reinvent them. There's an effort that's inspired by a cult classic 1981 movie called Possession that becomes a jarring distraction before the final 20 minutes plays out exactly as predicted. This franchise used to be more lean into unconventional slasher type, but very little of that is present in this flat retelling. There are flashes of decent body horror moments, it's just a shame they've been strung through an incredibly familiar framework. Overall, it's not worth to watch this in theaters. Just wait on your streaming service.